Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is the next voting video. If you missed it the first time around, I'm letting you guys vote on the bigger games that I cover on the channel. Now look, I still focus on the indie titles, but I can't argue against the success of videos like Senran Kagura Estival Versus, and if that's what you all want to see, I have to oblige. Now, while I do my best to keep up with those bigger games, they do have a reasonable amount of content most of the time, and I don't want to miss anything in terms of critical analysis. And the whole lack of review copies means the game will probably be within a week or two of the release date, so again, apologies on the timeliness of some of the videos. But enough talk. The options for voting, which can be done via the YouTube polls, are as follows. These are your options for the week of April 11th through April 17th. Option 1. Ratchet & Clank for the PlayStation 4 on April 12th. Look, I grew up with games like Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and Jak and Daxter, so Ratchet & Clank seems like a great blast from the past for me. Good 3D platforming fun is always appreciated, and I always loved the humor the series brought. Now, there is a concern or two with a movie tie-in being right around the corner, and maybe the game gets rushed, but honestly, Insomniac has a good track record, so I think the game will be fine. Option 2. Dark Souls 3 for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on April 11th. I'm not the biggest Dark Souls fan, to be quite honest, but needless to say, this is one of the biggest anticipated games of this spring, and I can see the reasons why. Difficulty, fantasy battles, the game definitely has the firepower to be one of the best games of 2016. Now, whether it can live up to its legacy is a whole different story, but that's what reviews are meant to find out, I suppose. Option number 3. Orion Legacy of the Kuro Odan for the PC on April 14th. Now, I've done a preview of the game on the channel in case you are wondering, which I will link here. An action RPG based in African mythology, there's an interest here in the storytelling standpoint, and whether the game can be refined from the preview that I played, which had some good elements to it, it just needed a little bit of polish. I'll give 30 seconds for the vote to come up and for you guys to select your option. Honestly, every time I put an RPG on this list, I hesitate for a second, only because I know of the time sink. Granted, those games usually are fun and all, but the whole constant videos thing gets in the way. But don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite genres. So I'm just saying words here to fill the time in. Your options for the week of April 18th through April 24th is as follows. Option number 1, Star Fox Zero for the Wii U on April 22nd. Look, it's Star Fox. Star Fox 64 is one of my most played N64 games, and Platinum's involved, one of my favorite developers. It may have gone through delays and had concerns about its control scheme, but this is one of those games I can't think it's going to be bad. My mind won't allow it. But hey, that's until I get my hands on the game. Option number 2, Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair for the PC on April 18th. Now you're all probably wondering, wait, where's the review of the first game? It's coming, alright? One of the problems with reviewing a game like Danganronpa in terms of a video format is simple. You don't want to spoil anything, so this one takes something extra in terms of the review. It goes double for Danganronpa because it's a mystery. So yes, it's there, it's not going to be another X-Blades, but it's taking some time. But that game is so good that I have to include the second one as an option on the coverage list. And it's supposed to be better than the first, which makes me excited. Option number 3, The Banner Saga 2 for the PC on April 19th. Great artwork, style, and tactical combat was the Banner Saga in a nutshell, and of course, its sequel should be no exception. And tactical games in particular don't get the spotlight that they should in my opinion, so this seems like a strong choice for the week. Honestly, this week is a doozy. Really strong titles all around. Hell, this may bleed into the week after as well, just because despite the vote, I may cover 2 or even 3 of these games. Now, not to say your votes are meaningless, not at all. I just really want to cover these games in the end. They all have a lot of potential. Your options for the week of April 25th through May 1st. Option number 1, Cornerstone, The Song of Tyrium, PC on April 26th. Look, watch the trailer and tell me that this game hasn't been influenced by The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. You can't. But on the flip side, Wind Waker was a blast, so if you're going to mimic a game like that. Let's see if this game can stand up to the spotlight though. Option 2, Alienation for the PS4 on April 26th. Top-down shooter plus some skilled play? Okay, you've got my attention. Loot and RPG mechanics? Okay, you've got more of my attention. But hopefully the bright lights can bring some depth into combat, but needless to say, this game looks like chaotic fun. And who doesn't like a bit of chaos? Option number 3, Lost Reavers for the Wii U on April 28th. Now this is a free-to-play game by Bandai Namco, with some elements of Monster Hunter seemingly thrown in there. Now look, I do have concerns because, my god, the frame rate looks a bit of a problem in the trailer, so this could be a bomb. But hey, I'm putting this on the list because it's free to play, and I can find out whether it's worth something so you all don't waste your time in the end. Honestly, compared to the last week, this week just feels a bit of a second tier. Not to say that these games are going to be bad, but I mean, you're going up against some titans the week before. And there isn't anything else big announced during this period. At least anything that I found that was interesting. But you never know. Sometimes you can find a gem or two in these games, and that's what I'm here to find out. Finally, your options for the week of May 2nd through May 8th. Option number 1, Battleborn for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on May 3rd. Look, this game hasn't really been on my radar a lot, because, well, I've been fascinated with Overwatch in this genre. Hell, it's like everyone remembered the skill-based shooter genre, because there's a ton of games about it this year. And frankly, there's not much else this week otherwise. So heck, why not Battleborn? Option 2, Starbreak, May 3rd for the PC. Starbreak is a unique skill-based action platformer MMO where you explore strange sci-fi worlds along dozens of players, kill legions of dangerous aliens, and fight epic boss battles. It's also free to play. It also shows that there's not much else during this week. Option 3, User Requests. Honestly, I couldn't find another game to fit in here. So how about this? You guys can suggest a game regardless of release date and all in the comments section below. And if this wins, I'll pick at least one of those games and do a full review of it. Because reasons. Honestly, I've got to hand it to Battleborn here. It's literally got no competition going against it this week. Like none. Granted, someone could announce a game during the next few weeks, but it's looking good for them. But that doesn't mean that I'd prefer it to Overwatch, Tracer controversy aside. Because, well, Overwatch. And that's it for this video. Now, like I always say, I've got a lot of indie reviews on the plate, so just because you guys are voting on these games doesn't mean that's the only content you're going to get on the channel. Again, I've got a lot of reviews on the plate, and I think I've got about 30 or 40 copies of games that people have sent me, so I've got a lot to do at this point. But I will see you all later, and expect a little bit of a vlog in the next few days.